Good evening, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Asad Nawaz. Tonight's show is going to start off with the National T20 Cup. The first semi-final is underway at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, where Khyber Pakhtunkhwa are chasing a target of 157 that has been set by Northern. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa right now need 46 more runs on 24 deliveries. Action is live on PTV Sports. For Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, we know Pakistan's World Cup squad. We'll be discussing it in detail, the changes that have been made. The practice sessions are underway. They took part in extensive fielding sessions today. And we are also going to discuss the fact that how do we look at the combinations? I've said it again and again, and I'll highlight this, that let's stop criticizing our players now. Let's just not discuss whether they should have been there, whether they shouldn't be there. Now, because they are there, so we need to realize that they're going to be representing Pakistan in the T20 World Cup. So how should they play their role? What should be their role in that T20 playing 11 that we're going to talk about? We'll be talking about cricket in particular on the show. In studios, I've been joined by my guest, first of all, a cricket commentator and expert, the very Honourable K. Asif. Assalamu alaikum, Asif, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, thank you.
Great to have you on the show. We've also been joined by cricket expert, somebody who's going to keenly analyse Pakistan's World Cup squad because certain changes are there as well, like we mentioned, Sabir Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, Sabir, how are you?
Thank you so much.
Good to have you on the show. And also joining us on Sports Extra is cricket commentator, cricket expert, a very dear brother and a very lethal batsman when he gets the chance, Mr. Ali Younis. Assalamu alaikum, Ali, how are you?
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you for having me. I'm all good. How are you?
I'm very well as well. Ali, I'll give you the first say. You're in Lahore right now. The semi-finals taking place. Yeah. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa looks to be in a bit of a trouble, although I thought they'll go over easy, Northern.
Look, we've always spoken about the Northern, how dangerous they are, and they're showing it in a bigger match. And they still have Sohail Tanveer in their side. So playing in Lahore is different. You need a lot of experience while coming to Lahore and winning in Lahore, especially at Gaddafi Stadium. The pitches are slow. You need to adjust according to the situation. So that's where I think Northern will get away in the semi-final because of Sohail Tanveer factor. Because he's played so many semi-finals. And on the other hand, if you see there is an experience in KP, although Iftikhar is there, although Imran Khan Senior is there, but inexperience is still there in KP side. So I was rooting for Northern to win this tournament, but at least they've made it to the semi-final.
Yeah, things have drastically changed when Pakistan's squad was announced because I think about 5 to 6 of Northern players are in that squad, so they had to leave. So Asif, they saw major changes. And after those changes, Northern looked a pretty weak side. Like I said, I didn't fancy them getting 156, but now it's looking like a good total.
Well, that's right. I mean, first of all, they won the toss and they went, KP have won the toss and they went for the ball. So the bowling was quite okay, and 156, you can't say that in T20 it's a respectable total, as Ali mentioned earlier. So, but yes, the things are changed, the scenarios are changed, environment is changed, but they are playing this T20 cricket in Gaddafi Stadium from last couple of days after, it's the second leg in Gaddafi Stadium. So when you're chasing 156 and there's no Rizwan in your team, then definitely you're missing him. But the important thing is that the people, they always miss that Sahibzada Farhan is a very potential guy. I've seen him for a long time. I'm observing his batting, and he got several chances for the national side as well, though he was not able to perform there. But he's a very good guy, and as he played today, he showed that he has a class. And then later on, Kamran Ghulam, you guys been discussing in previous shows as well that he has a class. For a long time, he's performing, and the way he scored 100 in T20 has been phenomenal. And today he was playing well, but once again, the Northern side, you must say that they're fighter. Though they don't have their now national players, they're in the World Cup squad, and now they went for the, they're in a biosecure bubble and they have training sessions. But I'm pretty much fan of KP team because they have very good struggling and fighting environment in their dugout. So that's why Iftikhar, a very, very energetic guy, been playing for Pakistan for a long time. Good is still there, so hopes are there.
Hopes are still there, but T20 is a funny game. We know that 1 over can change the game, and like Asif mentioned, that until Iftikhar is there, things are looking like probably 1 good over, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa might chase this. Sabir, everything has worked for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. We need to discuss this because last season they won the Qadir Trophy, One Day Cup, National T20 as well. Even now, because Rizwan isn't there, they've got a good side. So their backup seems to be very strong as a structure.
Absolutely. Before starting the tournament, obviously, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Central Punjab were the favorite. They started really well. They were winning their opening matches, at least in middle of the tournament. They struggled a bit. I mean, now they are struggling in the semi-final. I mean, if you could, see their initial matches of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, they basically have been playing wonderfully well. Obviously because of Mohammad Rizwan and Fakhr Zaman as well. Now they don't have a luxury of, both of the players. But I mean, Iftikhar is obviously he's on the crease. But I mean, there will be a competition between Salman Ishad. Salman Ishad, I think he's having 1 over left. Sohail Tanveer, I think he has finished off. But I mean, KPK should have, chased this particular target very easily. But they have been struggling. Kamran Ghulam obviously played really well. I mean, he had a wonderful form. As he was carrying because of, his previous match. He made a wonderful 100 as well. But I mean, you need to have a settled player who has been, playing all the matches, because Kamran Ghulam, recently inducted in this
the KPL. He's now bowling a very important, crucial over, and he's just been hit for a 6 by Iftikhar Ahmed. The action right now is live on PTV Sports. We'll try to have that action with you as we keep on discussing this further as well. But like Sabir has mentioned that there's still a quality side. But Northern, he's absolutely right. I think the next 2 bowlers for them who are going to bowl that 18th, 19th, 20th over, Zaman is right now bowling the 18th, is going to be Salman Irshad and Amir Jamal. Amir has been hit for 30 in his 3 overs. So it's going to be very tough for him to make a comeback, but it's a funny game, always T20 is. Ali Younis, 156 is what Northern were able to manage. Now, KPK have got Iftikhar on the crease. I want to discuss this structure a bit as well further, because you've been part of these things. You've seen them in the making as well. That Khyber Pakhtunkhwa winning all 3 major tournaments of Pakistan's domestic season. Then if you look at their coach Abdur Rahman, who has been working with them, he wasn't there for the previous season, but before that he's always been involved with KPK. So they've got a good bench strength. Even if their guys are leaving like Rizwan and Fakhr, they still have enough talent. And if we look at the Pakistan team or even the northern side right now, the majority of the talent is coming from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
That's correct. That's a very valid point by you. I think even in the last domestic season, we saw that the backups, they're such a settled side. If you look at the players, if Adil Amin has got a lot of experience, Iftikhar has got a lot of experience in terms of first-class cricket. I'm not talking about T20 cricket, but first-class cricket. And then we talk about Imran Khan Senior. He's played Test match cricket for Pakistan side. Israrullah is there as a Fakhr's backup. Sabzada Farhan, as Asif mentioned. So they've got a quality side, and they've been well led. I think the best thing about that side is their fighting spirit. I think they don't give up. Because I was covering the domestic whole season, so I've seen them in difficult situations, but they have come out of those difficult situations quite nicely and quite easily because of these young players. Even missing out on Rizwan also, it has not made much of the difference. Haris is a good backup as a wicket-giver batsman too. So they look like a settled team. I think if they can manage to hold on these last few overs, then they will definitely be favored to win this tournament again this year.
Well, 13 balls, 29 runs required in T20. Momentum is key. If you're chasing, if you've got that momentum, you can probably win a game. But like we said, it's a funny game. 1 wicket, 1 good delivery could just change the game. So about 13 deliveries, 29 runs. This is getting interesting.
Well, if you talk about Salman Irshad, I've watched him very keenly, especially in KPL. He remained the best bowler of the tournament. The main thing is that in T20, if you could bowl a perfect Yorker, then you would be the game changer. And if you see that he bowls side-arm bowling action, like Asif Malinga, and he uses his variation very nicely, change of pace, then quick Yorkers. So I think things are not easy for Iftikhar, because Iftikhar is very good with his onside. But if you talk about that, if he couldn't play on the offside, then very difficult for the Salman. If he's facing Salman Irshad, and let's suppose if I'm the captain, I would be saving his over for the last over, and if he could manage to save 10-15 runs, if there are, then Salman Irshad would be a good choice.
A good choice it could be indeed, and we know that the little over 2 runs are required. That means that Khyber Pakhtunkhwa would now be winning this match and would be the finalist once again at the National T20 Cup. Ali Younis, Northern tried their best probably, but inexperience clearly is there. So do you also believe that Sohail Tanveer should have actually kept 1 over, and better captaincy was required from Umar Amin?
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to hold your nerves, as you just mentioned, in a crunch game when you're in this when you're short of players. In fact, this is a team who has lost most players to T20 side, most key players to T20 side of Pakistan. So still, hats off to them. They've made it to the semi-final. They played some good cricket. Zaman Khan, if I talk about again, I think he's been the new rising star for Northern. Asad Nawaz did show some glimpse of brilliance, but not consistent, not long enough. Zishan Malik also, he's got future too. So we've got some few young players also coming from Northern side. They can make it to Pakistan team.
Definitely that would be the case, and we do know that Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is most likely 99% is going to be the finalist. So we've got our first of the National T20 Cup and have now qualified for the final of Pakistan's domestic T20 Cup, and they will be playing a final tomorrow at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. Very quickly, gentlemen, before we go to a break, let's come to the second one now. This is done and dusted. Asif, Central Punjab, Sindh, what are your thoughts?
Well, of course, I will go with Central Punjab. They performed really well, if you see that, and especially their captain Wahab Riaz. He's leading from the front, though either in the bowling or in the batting, and especially if you talk about the way he hits 3 sixes, massive 6 sixes against Ahmad, but shows his confidence, which is lacking in Sindh side.
But so these are guys who've played so much cricket. Being hit for 3 sixes like this, just it's disappointing.
It's an extraordinary thing. Wahab Riaz hitting 3 sixes is not normal against Ahmad, but to be very honest, and that is the point, that Ahmad bowled slow deliveries and he bowled short mid deliveries. The result was same. He didn't go for the Yorker. Salman tried to there, but actually
couldn't execute.
Yes, that's the point. So no, I'm with Central Punjab.
Central Punjab.
Yeah.
If we go to the roots, you better be sticking with Sindh. I know.
Obviously, absolutely. Before starting the tournament, Central Punjab obviously in KPK, but now the way Sarfaraz led this, his team, particularly in this tournament, and Sharjeel played wonderfully well. Danish Aziz, so many, Saud Shakil as well. Sarfaraz himself, obviously, now he's in the World T20 squad. But I'm supporting Sindh, and I would like to see, the final between KPK and Sindh.
That would be an interesting one. And that being said, we'll just go towards a short break. The second semi-final would be also underway at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. Action live from 7:30 onwards on PTV Sports. Congratulations to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. They've made it to the final. When we come back from the break, we'll be discussing Pakistan's T20 World Cup squad. Stay tuned to Sports Extra. Welcome back to Sports Extra with me, Ahmad Nawaz. We're now going to be discussing the T20 World Cup that begins in a couple of days in the UAE and Oman. The International Cricket Council has announced the prize money for the entire tournament, and it's a big sum of money that is going to all teams evenly, depending on the qualifications into various rounds and also making it to the semi-final and final. We've got a report about that. Let's go take a look and then come back. Well, technical issues, the report would be there once these are resolved, but like we said, that it's a handsome amount of prize money that has been announced. Looking at Pakistan's squad, 3 last-minute changes were made. It was Haider Ali who came in, it was Sarfaraz Ahmad who made his way into the side, and Fakhar Zaman who also came in. While a very last-minute entry from a wild card was Shoaib Malik that we'll be talking about as well. Let's go back to the report and then come back.
The International Cricket Council has announced prize money for the T20 World Cup 2021. Overall, a sum of $5.6 million will be allocated for the tournament, which will be shared by all the 16 participating teams. Whoever lifts the T20 World Cup trophy on November 14th in Dubai will get a cash award of $1.6 million to go with it. The runners-up will get $800,000, while the 2 losing semi-finalists will get $400,000 each. In addition to this, the breakdown announced by the ICC suggests that the teams that win the round matches will earn additional prize money. Teams will also get prize of $40,000 for winning each match in round 1 and Super 12 stage matches, whereas teams failing to reach the semi-finals will receive $70,000 guaranteed money. Moreover, the teams which get eliminated from the tournament in the first round will be awarded $40,000 as a guaranteed participation prize. The teams confirmed to be competing in the Super 12 stage are Australia, Pakistan, England, India, New Zealand, Afghanistan, South Africa and West Indies. Whereas sides participating in round 1 are Bangladesh, Ireland, Namibia, Netherlands, Oman, Scotland, Sri Lanka and Papua New Guinea.
Know about the prize money and all the dynamics of the tournament. K. Asif and Sabir are still in studios. Asif, first of all, your thoughts on the squad as an expert and as a Pakistani cricket fan. How are you seeing the combinations?
Well, you were discussing earlier, now this is the time to support our squad. Yeah. Either you like them or not, either you think that they're not performer, either you think that this is not the best choice. Now we would have to support our team, first thing. The second thing is that as in the break you were discussing that we have the best T20 squad now. But one thing I would have to mention there, and as Sabir was discussing in the break, that Shoaib Malik was not in our plans. Now suddenly he came on the last minute and now he's the member of the squad. I'm not a fan of Shoaib Malik, but I'm telling to Shoaib Malik that now this is a time to show responsibility, to show your experience, that you remain the skipper of the side as well. If you do remember, in 2007, the inaugural T20, Shoaib Malik was the captain and we played final. Though we remain unlucky in the very last stages, and Misbah Haq, he played tremendous innings, but he was not able to fulfill the finals requirement, and in the last he was gone out on the, who was the bowler?
Joginder Sharma.
Joginder Sharma, yeah.
That's the only time I remember Joginder Sharma from. Because after that he became a police constable in Indian Police Services.
Yes. So Shoaib, the lots of responsibility on Shoaib Malik, that now this is the time. The nation is expecting something extraordinary from you. So if Shoaib Malik is playing with his full spirits, and let's suppose that Fakhr Zaman, he would be definitely, if in the 11th side, he will be coming as opener. Though we will discuss that who will be the opener.
That's a big debate.
Rizwan or Babar Azam. I want to see Rizwan as an opener. Lots of debates are going on that Rizwan should be on number 3. Because he used to play in Test cricket on number 4, number 5. But this is not the Test cricket. Rizwan and Babar, both have the same place, they have same class. But once again, you see if they record that if Babar opens, he scores more. So I want to see Babar Azam and Fakhr Zaman as an opener and Rizwan on the number 3. I don't know that either what they are thinking now, because, you know, Matthew Hayden would be the batting consultant, and then Saklan Mushtaq would be the head coach. So if you think that who will be the opener for the Pakistan, the best choice is Rizwan and Fakhr Zaman.
Rizwan and Fakhr Zaman.